Welcome, everybody. This is Andrew David, Blake Newbar's high performance call with the partner program. Now, what we went over yesterday, I had these questions. People kept asking me, and it was kind of ironic that today on one of my welcome calls, I got the exact questions that I was addressing yesterday. Is it too saturated? Is there too much going on? The great thing about Blake's product, guys, is truly that this is geared to help small businesses. It's set up to help businesses that need the help. And we live in this day and age. Look, the government is throwing money at businesses right now because 80 to 90% of all businesses in the United States are considered small businesses. Now, that could be anywhere between one to several hundred employees, but technically they're small businesses. And one thing that's happening is the consumer, our consumer, in this case, businesses, are becoming more and more educated as to what's necessary. They know that they need social media. They're starting to understand that a lot of these digital agency companies that are out there are charging them much, much more than they need to for very little results. And they're wondering why they're not getting any results. And you guys can step in and say, hey, one of the reasons you're not getting results is because your social media is lacking. Let me show you what you need. And a lot of them are wanting to take this on because they can. They've got someone in the office or they want to do it on their own. It's a perfect opportunity, not just here in the United States, but throughout the world, to go after new people, new businesses. I think social media as a whole has given rise to entrepreneurs across the world. I mean, all of us that are sitting here are an example of that. But what it's done is it's shown business owners that, hey, there's an opportunity. I can do some of this marketing. I just need to figure it out. And that's where you step in. Okay. So yesterday I went over a bunch of different statistics to help you understand what's going on. Today, I want to share a little bit with you, give you some ideas, and feel free to, drop in questions or ask, but I want to go over some ideas of the fact, yes, there's opportunity is there, but it is busy. The digital space is busy. And so we need to find a way to stand out. So I wanted to give you at least a couple of 2 to 3 key elements that you can do to make your voice heard above the noise. Everybody good with that? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Let's dive in to some of this. All right, so part 2, number 1. No, this is supposed to be up here. Number 1, okay? In what you do, you have to emphasize your ability to tell a story. Telling a story is going to be one of the key ways that you connect with your audience. This shows the human side of the business and it gains the customer's trust. When do people buy? And who do they buy from? They buy from who they know, like, and trust. You build up that trust through showing that you're an expert. Now, it doesn't mean that I have to be, if I'm marketing to doctors, I don't have to be a doctor. I don't have to have gone to medical school, but I have to understand my audience. And one way I can emphasize the fact that I understand my audience is by telling a story that relates to them. Okay. You have to understand the emotional impact stories have. This is not just to help them get customers. This is for you to connect. It's not just about statistics. I can sit and share statistics with you all day long. How much more effective is it if I talk to you about a friend of mine who, they talk about e-commerce and drop shipping being oversaturated. Well, he was a dishwasher in restaurants in New Jersey, learned how to do some marketing online, his family's from the Philippines. He was here in the US, first generation. His parents had moved over. He learned how to tell stories with his advertising. That empathy map that I talked to you guys about, a lot of the things that I learned about branding came from him. He's now done just under $100 million online, right? We have members here that have decided on a niche where they had no experience in, but they thought it would be great. They did the research and they've learned how to tell stories and connect with an audience. And now they're doing $5,000, $10,000 or more, several doing much, much more with this same program, right? I can talk about, got a kind of adopted grandma up in Vegas. work in the business. She doesn't need to earn $10,000 a month, but she went from a part-time physical therapist to continuing to do that, but now earning about $3,000 to $4,000 or $5,000 a month with her online business, just learning how to run Facebook ads, learning how to run Google ads. The first time I met her, first time I talked to her, she said, we're talking about Facebook, we're talking about marketing. You may as well be speaking Mandarin to me. And she was nearly in tears. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to do this. I'm just too old. Now she's creating ads on Google. She's creating ads on Facebook. She runs email campaigns. She does it all, right? If you guys are just willing to create stories, it will help you with your marketing. Okay. Emotions do have more impact on purchases, more impact than actual customer satisfaction. If you're able to touch your audience's emotions. Now, one way to do that, maintaining a blog, a podcast, a YouTube channel. Now, blogging and podcast, YouTube, video, whatever, you can do that on Instagram. You can do that on Facebook. You can tell stories, and this is a way you can connect with your audience. So learn how to, and then show your ability to tell a story. Next, you've got to be flexible and willing to adapt. I think we can all agree marketing happens much faster now than it did 5 years ago. Social media content is updated all the time. Occasionally I have people joining, to give you a quick example, let's pop into Facebook. We're going to go look up some groups. I'm going to pull up, just because I did recently, we're going to do real estate. I'm going to look at groups. Now, as you guys are joining these groups, one simple thing to look at is how many posts. I'm actually a member of those ones. That's why it's showing me unread posts. But, you've got 90 posts a day versus 890 posts a day. Which one am I more likely to get some traction in? Which one am I more likely to get in front of? 53,000 or 64,000, right? This one only has 49, but there's 90. This one has 53,000. There's 890. This has 74,000. There's 1.1 thousand. There's 1,100 posts every single day. Because you got to pay attention to little things. Social media content is updated so frequently. If I'm in this group, do you think there's really, truly a shot at my post being seen at any point? Never. There's no way. Now, I can join this one where there's 10 a day, right? You've got to be smart about where you're going and looking for what you're doing, right? Now, be able to adapt on the fly is essential, meaning Facebook's going to change. Instagram will change. YouTube will change. All of this stuff, it'll change. And we'll do our best to give you guys updates as soon as they come and as much as we can. Part of it's us learning how the updates are working before we try and share stuff. But that's why I talk about with you guys, do your education, learn what you're doing. Treat this just like you would your job, right? Hey, I got to learn my skills. Being able to tell a story and to use different elements and be willing to adapt is going to be important. So here's a couple of things that'll help you with your flexibility. Number one, establish objectives and mission or vision statements. This is your personal mission. Now, it could be something very simple. My role is to help digital entrepreneurs above the age of 40 that are looking to really make a difference within their niche, learn how to master social media so that they can attract their customers and achieve their goals. So how am I going to do that? Well, I want to teach them how to use Facebook. I want to show them how they can use a funnel. I want to show them how they can generate leads for themselves. I want to help. My goal is to help people overcome addiction all across the country. And in order to do that, I want to help as many addiction recovery facilities as possible to fill their empty beds. I'm going to do that through education, strategy, networking, and more, right? So those are some of the mission statements that I have for a couple of my businesses. In order to do that, now I set up, here's what I want to do. Right? I've got my target audience. I know where they are. I know what position that most of them are in. Addiction recovery, for example, anywhere between 10 to 20% of the beds available in the country at any given time are full. 10 to 20%. meaning 80 to 90 are empty. I want to help change that. So that's where launching, monitoring, paying attention to what I'm doing. Now, this is improvement on my campaigns. How many more people am I helping? So this is where if I've got my own mission statements for my company, now I've got overall, this is how I personally do it, guys. I've got my personal overarching business mission statement and visions, and it includes a number of different things. I'm not, maybe on another call, I'll dive into it. But then for branches within that, I've got a different mission statement. So when people come, and all of you guys, I know you've been offered within the last few months, other affiliate marketing opportunities, network marketing opportunities, invest in this, crypto that, stock market this, real estate that, like everything. I can look at my mission statement. I don't need this. I don't need it. I go, when I look at flexibility, here's this platform, here's that platform. Is that going to help me? Is that going to help me help my customer? Not just help me make an extra couple of bucks. That's where that shiny object syndrome comes in. Now, when we're talking about flexibility, we're talking about the ability to adapt. It doesn't mean I'm going to jump onto every new thing that comes out, because there's always going to be new things. What it is I've created a mission statement. And so if something comes in that doesn't fit and that's going to get me closer to where I'm looking to go, or doesn't help my customers get more, I don't need it. It's a no. On the other hand, if something comes in that I know is going to assist me, I'm going to figure out how to make that work. And whether it's just a financial, if it's time, if it's a relationship, I got to figure out how to make that happen. But it only happens because I took the time to sit down and go, what is it I'm really looking for? And not just a dollar amount, and not just, get rid of my debt, not just be able to travel, right? If you want to do something more, you've got to give yourself a vision of what that looks like from a business and life perspective. Does anyone have a question about that? Vision statements, mission statements, coming up with some clarity there.
I will say one thing, Andrew. You got to figure, Blake got us to the partner program. So obviously he told a story. Obviously it brought us emotionally all together here because we're all looking for something.
Right.
Good story.
Yeah, absolutely. The story is essential to help you guys, in your marketing. You got to think the same way. You're telling a story to your doctors, wedding planners, real estate agents, financial advisors. And what is their story, right? They're frustrated with their business. I know very few business owners that don't say, man, yeah, I could use more customers. It's rare. No, hey, I'm making too much money right now. Keep it for yourself. Don't worry about them. And then they say, you might say, well, there's so many digital agencies out there. There are, absolutely. There's a lot of them. But these businesses are becoming more and more aware. Oh, search engine optimization, you want to charge me $1,000 a month and I'm not getting any calls, or you're telling me it's going to take 6 months to get calls, hopefully. What does that have to do with anything? And meanwhile, you come along and you say, hey, yeah, I know all it's important, search engine optimization. That's great. How about we take something like your social media and we transform it so you can get in front of the people you want and actually turn them into customers. And it's a one-time charge. Here you go. And they go, I've talked with I can't tell you how many business owners I've spoken with that have spent thousands, tens of thousands of dollars monthly for someone to change their social media. Nothing happens. And then you can come along and go, look, here's a basic blueprint. Check this out. Here you go. Here's the DFY plus, I'll set up a real basic funnel for you. Make this work. And then if you can continue to deliver content for them, that's where, when other products, other services, if it's going to help that doctor, that digital entrepreneur, that real estate agent, hey, I'll figure out a way to make that work. Oh, it's going to cost me a couple extra bucks. Okay, but it's going to make me, what's my ROI going to be if I do this right? What does that have to do with the price of rice in China? Absolutely. It's all about you, right? So define the target audience, outline the potential marketing strategies for you and for them. Because if I could sit down with you and outline your marketing strategies for your audience, how well do you think it's going to help you? Right? Think about that. So you're working with a doctor, a plumber, a contractor, whatever. If I can figure out marketing strategies for them, how much valuable content can I give them? Right? I gave you guys a place you can look up right here, right? Everybody remember this? Answerthepublic.com. Did anybody get a chance to actually look at that page? Because if
Yes,
you
I did.
look, it's a heck of a lot more than the little bits that I pointed out, right? So use those tools. Next, get comfortable with self-promotion. Now, I know some of you guys are not the ones that are on camera. So when we're talking self-promotion, just kind of tweak that for, business or entity promotion. But we live in a world where a personal brand or a business brand is important. Now, we're not trying to compete with McDonald's and Nike. We're not trying to compete with these huge Wall Street advertising firms. That's not what we're going for. But you don't have to in this world of social media today. Personal branding, the process of presenting yourself as a marketable brand, process of saying, I'm here to help. This is what I have. But because, there is noise in the market, you can't be afraid of that. And if you are a little afraid, then start doing things in small doses. A picture with something, your voice in the background of a video, writing, like think of self-promotion as a living, breathing portfolio of your marketing talents. If you're unwilling to promote consistently, no one is going to buy what you're selling about promotion. If they come to your page and you're posting once a week, why the hell are they going to buy anything that you give them about social media? If all they find are articles from other people that you post, why are they going to listen to you? Your voice isn't anywhere. So you telling them to use their voice comes off hollow. Okay. So here's a couple of things to ask yourself. Now, I'm going to give you guys this document in the Skype here. Let me just do this here real quick, and you guys can all see this. I'm going to share it. Tweak that. Tweak this. Anyone with the link. Okay. I'm going to drop this into the Skype chat here in a second. And I'm going to give you guys the link in the Zoom chat so you guys can just click on it. Now, when figuring out how to start your own brand online, ask yourself questions like, who are you? What makes you unique? What's your vision for your personal brand? What's your goal? What are the professional goals? So all this kind of goes back to your mission statement, right? Who's the audience? Who can help? Who can you help? So deciding on your niche, figuring out your target audience. What are you going to do to help them? I'm helping them with their social media so they can get more leads, so they can make more money. All of this stuff, right? And if you can't answer every single one of these, work on it until you can. Answer as much as you can. More answers equals more clarity. The more clarity you have, the better this will all work. Now, word of warning to everybody. I've looked at a handful of people's pages recently, and I'm not calling out any names, and odds are they're not on this call anyway. But here's things that you have to clean up on your page. Okay. Remember, personal or business. Now, again, people ask, do I have to use personal if I don't want to? You don't have to. It helps. It helps. You want to avoid unprofessional behavior, language, unprofessional communication style, excessive drinking or drug use. Like if it's just all you're posting, unless you're Forrest who's hosting parties as a DJ, don't post every single, like you shouldn't be posting pictures of you drinking every weekend, right? Polarizing views, politics, religion, race, or gender, sexually explicit content, violence, bullying, bigoted behavior. Yeah, I know it makes sense. Everybody's going, yeah, I don't need any of that. But I've seen it on posts, guys, on some of your pages. And then mixed in, you're like, hey, buy my social media stuff. Yeah. Why is nobody buying my product? Why didn't I can't get anybody to buy my blueprint? Well, no crap. Because I spent 20 seconds on your page and I just started shaking my head like, who's this fool? Right?
Andrew.
Yes.
But about polarizing views, like I know that politically, religious, and gender and all that stuff, no. But for example, like making a stand for something and like creating like not drama, but how do you say controversy or
Controversy.
yeah. Like making like a huge statement on something that is like not easily taken. I don't know if I'm being clear, but
something like, I think it's absolutely ridiculous that the government is going door to door to here in the United States to ask people to take the vaccine. A statement like that'd be fairly controversial.
No,
Right.
not political, religious, or the other.
Very few things that are controversial wouldn't fit under one of those categories. Almost everything would fit under politics, religion, sex, something. What do you guys think about controversy online? Because there's positives and negatives, right? Now, again, a slightly different political view or a willingness to just look at both sides isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? Because we all know that there's supporters on both sides that'll flock to you simply because of that, right? Part of it, and there's a difference in posting about it, taking a stand for certain things that, like my buddy Jason, who's working with our rescue, it's the Underground Railroad, helping human trafficking and stuff. Like that's a topic that it's controversial simply because there's not enough about it, but everyone stands on the opinion that that's a bad thing, right? It's not a comfortable conversation, but everybody agrees that's a bad thing. What you can do in your marketing, because what you want to do is you want to look at your audience and say, who is it I'm trying to connect with the understanding that in any industry, you're going to have people on any side of any issue. So asking certain questions, survey, opening discussions in a positive manner can create engagement on your page and bring people in. And then you just have to make sure that you moderate it. Right. So really the examples I'm trying to talk about here are going to someone's page and they're railing or they're cussing about family or about other just silly stuff. Right. So I don't think personally there's a level of controversy that's okay. Right. If you do it in a way that creates engagement and conversation, as long as any type of bigotry or discrimination doesn't come out because of it.
For example, I know the example. For example, if I don't like somebody's name, and even if the person is famous, right? So I'm being bullied.
You don't like their name, or you don't like the person?
No, never mind. No, bad example. No, I don't know. Never mind.
So I think it goes to kind of like Michael saying, private Facebook groups. I don't have a problem saying certain things on my page, but I also understand my audience. Like some of the stuff that I say on here, some people wouldn't agree with. Talking about personal responsibility, right? Talking about control and self-awareness and not laying blame anywhere else. And, the fact that you're in control of your life. And I say that because, we've got people from every continent on earth. And I've worked with people from all over the world that have done amazing things, that have come from places that you would just, I've been in some of those homes when I was in Brazil with dirt floors and PVC pipes as they're, taking the refuse out into a gully behind their house, and seeing them build themselves up into business owners and successful individuals, overcoming obstacles from everywhere in the world. So whenever people come up with excuses, I take it with a grain of salt and I say, look, but here's this story. You've just got to overcome things. And we've all got those stories. Again, that's where storytelling can play in. So that
learning how to tell a story the right way can allow you to kind of overcome some of the initial shock that a lot of people have, right? Can we all agree in the last, especially the last couple of years, we've come to a point where many people are almost hypersensitive about a lot of topics. They're unwilling to talk about certain topics. They're unwilling to touch on them because they're scared of offending someone. And I can understand that. But if you tell the story the right way, it can create some engagement, which can be beneficial for your business, as long as you're not the one taking a stand that's just pissing people off, right? So again, I think we can all understand you may have something, but most of you guys are adults. You don't have anything on there that's really, oh my gosh, I got to get in and clean up my social media. But look at it. And it may not be just cleaning that up. It may be it's too focused on, like LinkedIn, for example. I get people all the time that come in and check my LinkedIn, to see if I do what I say I'm doing. I know some of you guys have. I'm cool with it. And I know some of you have because I pay for the premium. And so I get to see when a lot of people look. And I go, oh, I know them. Well, I just had a call with them, and then, you don't say anything, but I know you looked, and that's cool. I hope you see that on there, like this is what I do, but people are going to look. So if you haven't updated some of that stuff in forever, update it. If the only thing you have on your Facebook profile is, you doing something 10 years ago, update it. Show yourself that you're there, right? They're saying when you're in the view of the general public, you don't crap where you eat. Yeah, absolutely. Good point. Okay. Couple of extra ideas with self-promotion. And these are becoming available again, but professional events, presenting or speaking on industry related topics, maybe joining a professional organization or visiting some professional organizations that are in your niche. Guys, that's not just self-promotion. If you're working in real estate, go to a real estate investors group, go to, Adrian, you're drawing on my screen, my man. I don't know how I gave you permission. But go to, a Women's Council of Realtors, the Realtor Association that's local to you, any of that stuff. Go check them out. There's professional associations for just about anything you can think of. Join some. Research white papers, private label stuff. That'll help you build up self-promotion. We were talking about that yesterday on plr.me. Ask to post on other people's blogs. Allow some guests to post on yours. If I'm in a certain industry and I can say, hey, I'm reaching out to event planners in the industry, and if you get an article, if you get someone from The Knot, right? You know what that is, right, Forrest? The Knot, the magazine, the wedding knot. So people in the event, florists, DJs,
Event
everything.
magazine.
Yeah, it's an event magazine for wedding planners, right? Like tying the knot. So get someone, one of their executive editors to do a quick interview with them, right? Like you borrow people's credibility, use that. Guys, there are ways to stand out. Yes, it's a busy market. It's not oversaturated, but there are ways that you can stand up and you can be heard. So Michael's saying, just an important note, who we are is our current life narrative, for we are being lives as an entity in a mental world. Physical is only a necessary vehicle. Absolutely. Express that. Learn how to tell your story. Learn how to tell the story that your audience needs to hear, and help them tell their story to their audience. There are ways that you guys can stand out with what you're doing, right? Some of you guys, if you're in the industry, like if you're in real estate and that's the niche that you're going after, share stuff that you're doing. If you're working with, physical, fitness trainers, and you're in fitness at all, you go to the gym, share pictures of it, put it in your stories. All of these things, guys, it just adds to your credibility. And if you're saying, well, I'm not in any of those, well, then join an association, go be a part of, go visit a group, go to somebody's office, ask them to interview. Hey, this is what I do. Like, there's so many different ways that you can raise that awareness around yourself, right? So I'm going to share these slides here. Yes, Sama. So here's the link. So you guys can click on that now, and then I'm going to share it in the Skype group here in just a minute. Okay. If
Andrew.
anybody wants to just click on that link. Yeah.
I got another question. I'm annoying
Sure.
today. I know, I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. Go for it.
Well, I told you, I don't know, well, a long time ago that I work for a American company, like a real estate American
Right.
company
Out of
based-
like Houston or something, right?
based in Houston. Yeah. And I'm here in Colombia,
Right.
in the back office. I'm not an agent, but my aim is our agents. So I joined a lot of groups from Miami, Houston, I don't know, like several groups. And I feel like I'm lying in a way, because I'm not
Why?
a real estate agent.
Are you telling them that you're an agent?
No.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Are you telling them you're a broker?
No.
Okay.
Not
What are you
either.
telling them that you feel you're lying about?
I don't know. I because it's just that I joined the group like for realtors and agents, and I don't know. But I did a course here in Colombia. I don't want to take long, but I did a course here in Colombia of like selling real estate. But
Okay.
I don't know.
So we're gonna keep talking. So hang on. Has anybody else ever felt a little bit of imposter syndrome? Right? You join a group or two and you're not in that industry. Okay. So that's what we're talking about here. All right, Maria, you joined a group with real estate agents, yes?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. How long have you worked with the real estate company you're working with?
Almost a year now.
Okay. Have you had conversations with real estate agents, brokers, et cetera, about buyers and sellers?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have to, in your role, study real estate marketing?
Yes. In fact,
Okay.
I'm in the leads department.
You're in the leads department for a real estate group. Now, you joined several groups for realtors. What was the purpose of you joining?
First, educating myself in the US market. Second, to help them get leads. That's
Okay.
priority.
Okay, to help them get leads. Do you have a product or system, maybe some kind of blueprint or like a masterclass or something that may be able to help them get leads?
Blake's, yeah.
Yours, right?
Well, yeah, mine.
You have yours. We all understand that, right? It's yours that you brand for you. So you've got something that can help them get leads. Over the course of the few months that you've been doing this, have you continued to study real estate lead generation, how to get leads as a real estate agent?
Have I? Yeah, I have.
Okay. So your role, so this goes to kind of the mission vision. Your role is the mission that you've got with your company. I want to help real estate agents generate more leads using social media. I want to help them get more customers, whether they be buyers or sellers, using things like Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, using their social media to increase their followers, get more leads, and turn those leads into actual customers. Is that a fair statement from you?
Yeah, very true. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So you were in the group to help them do that, which follows exactly with your mission statement. You are studying continuously how to generate leads. You're in the leads department for a real estate company. What is it that you feel like you're lying about?
That they think that I'm an agent and I'm not. And
Have you said that you're an agent?
No, but the groups
Okay.
are for agents. So I don't know.
If you haven't said that you're an agent, then you're not lying.
Okay.
How many different, is anybody else in real estate on here?
I am.
Okay, Denise, real quick.
And I'm in Houston.
Okay, Denise, have you worked with a real estate agent, a realtor that had an assistant or a buyer's assistant, seller's assistant, something like that, had someone on their team?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you think less of the person on their team than you did the actual agent?
No, because they are just the agent's assistant.
And they're still but they're
They're still
working in that
working in the
role
industry.
to
Right.
fulfill whatever your request was, right?
Right.
As long
So,
as you're not saying I'm a licensed agent, licensed broker, realtor, etc., you're not lying. Now, can all of you see how that the mission statement that I kind of explained right there for Maria, can everyone take that for themselves and apply it to their industry? Right? And when you
can I say
join these-
one word on what
Yes,
Maria
ma'am.
is thinking?
Just one though, because as soon as
Yes.
you say it, I'm gonna, one word.
Yes,
What?
one.
Okay,
So,
done. Go ahead.
so I joined I'm not an agent either, but there are people in the group, Maria, that are mortgage brokers, appraisers, inspectors, and they all help an agent in various capacities. So if you're helping them with marketing, then you're a marketing consultant for real estate agents.
The only thing you're trying to do in any of these groups, guys, is help them solve their problems. Right? That's it. I'm not trying to tell them how to be a better realtor or how to close the deal or legalese that they have with whatever contract they have. And because a lot of you guys have industries that have, legal contracts and things that have to be fulfilled. I'm not trying to tell them that. I'm just telling them, hey, I understand the problems that you're dealing with. Like, hey, buyers are starting to get a little bit of buyer fatigue. It's not going to be as easy to get those to sell some homes here coming up in coming months. Can you imagine what's going to happen once the foreclosure and eviction moratorium lifts and how difficult things are going to be to get customers on? Wouldn't you like to learn how to use social media a little bit better in the meantime? Right? And you can use that in any industry, guys. The imposter syndrome is only, you don't have to say, look, you're not guaranteeing 100,000 leads in a year. You're not telling them that you're going to turn their business around. Now, when I do my business consulting, I can sit with someone and I've got a guarantee. I tell them, look, I'm going to sit down with you and in 45 minutes, I'll find you between $10,000 and $50,000 in business that you just aren't taking advantage of. I know I can do that. I've spent time doing it. But promoting the partner program, I'm just in there helping with marketing and answering questions and building up slowly an audience. That's all I'm trying to do. Right? Guys, yeah, it's a busy market. A big part of this in getting your voice out there is understanding that it doesn't happen overnight. Right? You've got to and pay attention to the types of groups you're in. I was just showing you that, right? If I'm in a group and there's 200 posts in a day, no one's ever going to hear me. I'm going to be lost. Because like that 1,100 posts and then how many comments underneath that? Can you imagine trying to stand out when there's 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 different things being posted inside a group in one day? Good Lord. Right? Find one that you can be shown. Spend some time this weekend, guys. Think about what your mission is going to be. Come to terms with the fact that you can help any one of these industries. That's exactly what you're here for. You've got the products that'll do that. You just have to call their attention to you. And if you do that, you'll find a way to always rise up, rise from the ashes, fly like the phoenixes that you are.